We got a developing situation. Deshaun Watson, explosive new information. Are the Browns trying to end him? We roll immediately with this breaking news. A brand new sexual assault case filed against Watson. Take a look at this. This is breaking news. It is the Browns quarterback sued again. This from an alleged incident in October of 2020. Once again, accused of sexual assault and battery on a date. This would be the 25th complaint, mind you. Mike Florio says, hold on a second, because if he didn't tell the Browns about this when they were signing the contract, they could actually get out of the contract. Look at this.
If there's something he didn't disclose, if this is a case that he didn't share with them and he would get suspended, there's a way the Browns could rip up the rest of the contract and avoid the $92 million he's owed after this year.
But there is a major caveat. Listen closely to this.
He has to be suspended before the Browns could exercise, it's paragraph 42 of the contract, where they could void the future guarantees and move on from Deshaun Watson.
He would have to have not told them about this incident and also be suspended currently. Well, Tom Pelissero from the NFL Network says the NFL doesn't plan currently to place him on the commissioner's exemption list. That would be suspension in light of the new civil lawsuit because no criminal charges and the league's review has just begun. The NFL statement came out officially from the NFL PR department. Reviewing the complaint, we'll look into the matter under the personal conduct policy. And then the Cleveland Browns, they released a statement. And the Browns said, we will respect the due process our legal system affords regarding the recently filed civil suit and follow the NFL's guidelines on this matter. Notice the Browns not showing support, not saying we stand by our man, not doing any of that. Now, are they? But wait, here's where it gets disturbing. And the allegations are disturbing, and so are the facts. SLBT.com, home of honest, reliable service since 1970. Dan Le Batard Show. Mike Ryan reminding everyone exactly how he and many others felt and do feel about Deshaun Watson, the human being. Look at this.
He is still a monster.
Wow.
This is an overwhelming amount of allegations. Things here are bad and always have been.
There were 23 women separately accusing him of sexual assault. He paid them all. The 24th, it is still pending. They are still arguing that. This now is the 25th. The previous settlement, take a look at this in case you forgot, so just remember. $5 million Watson played, underwent mandatory evaluation by behavioral experts. They believe he's a serial sexual predator with a problem. And again, settling 23 of the 24. All right, so the new lawsuit claims that this was a date. The woman met Deshaun Watson in public in Houston. Instead of going to a restaurant, she didn't want to be out with him in public. She decided to have him over to her apartment. She was getting ready, finishing her makeup. He was already frustrated, aggravated by the fact that he couldn't find the place. He said on the phone screaming, I don't have time for this, as if somehow he's that important. Well, take a look, because according to the lawsuit, she came out of the bathroom to investigate why he was quiet. This is the first date. The date is just beginning. She's finishing her makeup. And according to the allegations, found him completely naked on her bed, lying face down on his stomach. While she was in shock, Watson turned his head, aggressively insisted that she massage him, gesturing to his buttocks. This, by the way, is consistent with the allegations of many, many of the 23 other accusers who have already settled with Watson, mind you. Watson indicated it was his buttocks that he wanted massaged. He became frustrated as it continues in her complaint that he would only she would rub his back. Watson turned over, revealing an erection, she claims. He continued to demand that she massage him, gesturing from his knees to his groin. She was frozen, as you might imagine, in fear, she claims. Concern for her safety, as you might imagine. She reiterated she was not a masseuse. Watson then asked her what she wanted to do instead. Back to me, because I must warn you, what you are about to see and hear is graphic and may trigger some of you. Please, caution, we will proceed. Take a look. As it continues, before she could answer, according to allegation, in the lawsuit that is now filed, Watson grabbed her leg, positioned her so that she now was lying down. He then partially disrobed the accuser, penetrating her without consent, implicit or explicit. This, remember, is before the date began. Feeling paralyzed, concerned for her safety, unsure what to do, Watson, according to allegations, roughly sexual assaulted her for several minutes, and that is much as we will show you. I can assure you it gets worse from there. It does end eventually with her finding the strength she claims to get up and to grab a piece of heavy decor to use as a weapon, and Deshaun Watson storming out of the apartment, and that was the end of that. Mike Ryan reminds us Cleveland brought in a man who had just escaped going to trial and going to prison for the rape of up to 24 separate accusers. Cleveland on the hook for this. Listen to what he said.
Cleveland should have never brought this individual in. Yeah. He should not be playing football. All of it was one of the worst chapters in the history of pro sports. And Cleveland and their decision makers, even if they get out from this contract, are going to skate by, and they shouldn't.
But wait, is there an actual conspiracy at play? An actual conspiracy at play here. This sounds wild, but the new information is absolutely explosive. Presented by Twin Peaks, your UFC fight headquarters. Dan Le Batard on the Dan Le Batard Show is going to use the L word, and this is absolutely explosive. And the L word isn't losing, which Cleveland might do a lot this year. It is instead leaking. Look at this.
And then the strategic leaking on stuff that makes you wonder, are they trying to get out from under the contract? Because now everyone can see it's a horror. And all in the middle of that, the idea that women get trampled, man, oh man, it's pretty gross.
This is a situation in which Le Batard is alluding to or inferring the fact that the Browns, the timing is such, the Browns seem to be maybe leaking the information, not just on the suit, but also on the terms of his contract. So then the public and the media can get to work at this, and the league is faced with a PR crisis and would have to suspend Watson. And if they did that, well, then according to the fact, if he did not reveal earlier the details of the other assault case or the allegation, the Browns actually could get off the hook for this. So he's talking about leaks. And look at this. He's not the only one, because Sportskeeda now is quoting Dan Le Batard. And they're saying that Le Batard suggests, I think it's more than suggest. I think more what I'm doing and Le Batard are doing is more than suggesting it. We continue because Ben Axelrod of Awful Announcing says, quote, kind of weird. The specific language in Watson's contract suddenly available for public consumption. Wonder what's happening there. That is bizarre. Then Mike Florio says, look it, the Cleveland Browns, they would love to get out of this. Look.
The Browns would probably love to have something fall out of the sky where he could be suspended and they could get out of those guarantees, because that's how ruthless teams are. They know they made a mistake, but they can't get out of it. They owe him the balance of the $46 million this year, $46 million next year, $46 million the year after that, fully guaranteed, and the only way out is if he would get suspended and they could void the guarantees.
That is wild. This new information is fascinating, and the fact that it's public is incredible. The question is on the board. Question, are the Browns actually behind this? Are the Browns actually leaking this information? Yes, they are. The Cleveland Browns are not only letting the world know about this new allegation and lawsuit, they are also letting everyone know the terms of the contract, including what would be an escape clause, that paragraph 42 you've heard about. If Watson did not tell the team about this case, which was not grouped with the others, he's got a major, major problem. $230 million fully guaranteed, guess what? He could possibly not see another cent, and he would have no legal recourse. He couldn't sue them. He couldn't demand. They could cut him and destroy the contract, and that would be the end of that. So, of course, it would benefit the Cleveland Browns if, in fact, this information became public. And then the court of public opinion, the NFL had to get involved, wouldn't it? But wait, did Watson just incriminate himself? You heard what I said, presented by X Golf, now open in West Palm Beach. Check him on Instagram, XGolfWPB, changing golf forever. X marks the spot. Let's flash back real quick to 2021. Take a look at the bottom of the screen. We'll make the crawl go away real quick. This was on St. Patrick's Day. The lawsuit alleging sexual assault. This is when the floodgates opened. Watson released a statement. What did Deshaun Watson say? Because remember, eventually he wound up paying 23 of the 24. The 24th is still going to get paid. And by the way, this woman now is the 25th. As a result of social media, I recently became aware of a lawsuit that is apparently, what do you mean apparently? No, it's filed or it's not, and it was. I've not yet seen the complaint, but I know this. I've never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect. Well, that's a lie, according to your own sworn testimony under oath. The plaintiff's lawyer claims that this isn't about money, but before filing suit, he made a baseless six-figure settlement demand, which I quickly rejected. Really? Because then you went and paid 23 settlements. Unlike him, this isn't about money for me. It's about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing that. Back to me, please. If it's about clearing your name, Why are you paying 23 accusers? You look kind of guilty when you do that. When you pay 23 different women that don't know each other that tell the same story about your sexual predatory behaviors and grooming and how you went about this. But take a look here, because here's where the incrimination may be a case. ML Football points out, fans have noticed an account on Twitter, a Bickerstaff 4 account, Leroy Bickerstaff. Deshaun Watson may have created. Is he running this Twitter account? Let's take a look, because here comes the video. Here's a video roll, a screen grab of some of these tweets. And we'll pause it right there. Leroy Bickerstaff 4. We get it. He wears 4. So does it. It seems a little too obvious. Someone gets it. One game isn't nothing. Just wait till the O-line starts to play. Stop holding back 4 from his greatness. Okay, let's a little bit more roll, please. Take a look here. You'll see that what we got is somebody defending Deshaun Watson, at every chance possible and every terms of football. We'll let it roll all the way through. And it seems a little too obvious. We'll let it roll all the way through. Thank you very much. Yes. And what you'll see is that you have somebody going out of their way to defend and protect Deshaun Watson, but the number 4, it seems way too obvious. What it feels like is somebody trying to grow engagement, get everybody wondering about the account, so they'll follow the account, and then they'll wait a couple months and rebrand it. They'll sell the account or use it for whatever. But the question is on the board, because this is the biggest question of all. This is the question. What will happen with Watson and the Browns? The Cleveland Browns will prove their point that this suit was not disclosed to them, that he violated the terms of the contract, and therefore they can terminate the contract and pay him nothing. The Browns will release Deshaun Watson, and they will do so by not paying him another dollar, and all of it because they're going to prove you didn't tell us about this case. You didn't tell us about this incident in which you could have. We gave you the benefit of. You chose not to. You hoped it never came up. Now it did. And now you, young man, are cut, and you are not paid. And that $250 million, well, what's left of it now, is gone forever. That is what will happen. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out today is day 8,401. Since our lives were changed forever, we shall always remember. We will never forget. May God bless all of us and everyone we lost on September the 11th, 2001. And may God bless America. Comment anywhere here. I was wrong or right. We'll reply to those. Watch the other videos. Hit subscribe, please. And remember, kids, while every day above ground is a good day, some are just more questionable than others. We'll see you on Friday.